Welcome to the Faith-Based Weight Loss Podcast. This is episode number 8, and we are so excited to be with you again today. If you are watching live, let us know in the comments by saying hi. And if you are watching on replay, then let us know that as well. We want to know that you're here. I am here with a guest today, and I can't wait till we get into our session. But yeah, happy Friday to you. If you're new to our group or if you're new to this podcast, I am Diana, and I am so excited about our topic today. And yeah, we are here to serve you. And so if you are not part of our faith-based weight loss Facebook community, then you need to join now. This is super important, and you don't want to miss out. This is a very active community with lots of support, lots of education, lots of resources to help you in your journey. I'm going to see here who's watching. All right, we are live. I can see that. Yeah, let us know if you're watching. So, our topic today is the 3 essential parts of successful and sustainable weight loss. Many of you are asking about what do I need to lose weight? And today there's been a lot of conversation about losing weight in menopause. And these 3 parts are critical to successful weight loss, whether you are in perimenopause, menopause, or postmenopause. And this is kind of something that we talk about and cannot be emphasized enough, the importance of these components. And so, again, if you are watching live, say hi in the comments. And if you are watching on replay, let us know. And I see someone is watching, and I want to wait till a few more people come on before I introduce our guests and dive into our topic. And I always like to celebrate some wins. And so we're going to do that in a second. But if you are not part of the Facebook community, here's how you can join. You can go to www.facebook.com/groups/faith-based weight loss for women. That's the number 4. And then you can request to join, and we would love to have you. So if you're on, can somebody give me a hi in the comments? Chris said she's watching. Lynn is watching. All right, guys, I like it. I see you guys. That's what I want. All right, before we dive in, we're going to always celebrate wins. This is something we highly promote in the faith-based weight loss community. We want you to share your wins. Lawanda, good morning. Happy to have you here. Sharing our wins reinforces them and encourages others and is just a way of accountability. And so if you have any win, whether you work with me as a client or whether you're just part of the faith-based weight loss community, please share your wins in the page, in the group, because it encourages us. This morning, I've come across 2 new wins that I'm not talking about. I'll save those maybe for next week, but I want to talk about 2 wins. I want to give a shout out to Jill, who posted this week. And in case you missed it, her board shorts that she grew out of 3 years ago are now super loose. She can't wear them. And the shorts that were too snug now need elastic in them. So give Jill a shout out in the comments, because when Jill started working with me in the 5 Principle Method program, that was her number 1 goal, was to be able to fit into those board shorts in the first 4 weeks. And that was met, but now she needs to put elastic in them. Guys, this is good. I know someone else said this week, they went down a size. I'm seeing here that Christine lost another inch off her waist. She's putting that win right here in the comments. I mean, guys, this is exciting. You could tell I get excited. I'm excited today because I've seen a lot of good wins. All right, win number 2, before we dive in our topic, Kim. Shout out to Kim, who told me yesterday she is able to sleep quicker, fall asleep quicker, sleep better, and waking up on her own. She said that has never happened and was super excited. It's helping her have more energy to get her job. She's a mom. So shout out to Kim, and yeah, keep them coming in the comments. Big win, Jill. Excellent, Christine. Yep, you guys are on it. So if you are ready to learn about the 3 parts to successful and sustainable weight loss, the 3 essential parts, go ahead and put the number 3 in the comments. Just drop it in there. We want to talk about today with our guest, and I'll go ahead and introduce our guest. My guest today is Carol. Carol, you can say hi.
Hello.
And Carol has been working in the faith-based 5 principle method program, and her story has been so inspiring. And really, as I've worked with her, I've really seen the 3 parts of the program be really important in how well she's done. And so she's going to tell you her story in a minute. But yeah, so I see a lot of 3s dropping in the comment. Keep them coming. We're going to talk to you about the 3 parts that are needed for successful and sustainable weight loss. And these 3 are critical if you are perimenopause, menopause, or postmenopause. I told several of you in the post today that we're asking about that to watch today's training. I'm also talking to some of you through the messenger and hopefully connecting you with some resources that will help you and guide you. So our goal today is to find out about Carol's journey. But before I go there, I just want you to know the 3 essential parts of successful and sustainable weight loss are the following. Number 1, you need a plan that is comprehensive. Okay. And if you're not sure what is a comprehensive plan is one that does not just look at your weight and at your movement and your food. A comprehensive plan is a plan that encompasses your whole being, your whole person, mind, body, and spirit. And in this program, in our program, it is faith-based because we really are faith, and inviting God into our weight loss and our wellness is number 1. The second piece of a successful weight loss program that's going to be sustainable is a balanced program. One of the things that I hate is extremes. And if you've heard me talk about things, I don't like anything to extreme. And so in our program, in the 5 principle method program, we want to develop and strive for balance, and even balance to be in balance. And so everything in balance, and we want our whole being, mental, physical, spiritual, emotional, and our whole wellness to be balanced. And so that is the second feature. And then the third super important feature of a successful and sustainable weight loss program is a plan that adapts to your changing body, aging body, you pick which word you want to put in there. But the point is, as women, when we hit middle age, our bodies change in ways we've never known. And we cannot expect the things we did in our 20s to work. And if we are not respectful of our changing bodies, and if we're not aware of the changes our bodies make, you cannot get the results. And so people say to me, you look different, those who've known me, and it's because I'm applying principles that are effective to my changing body. And that's where the science part comes in. There are things that you should and shouldn't do, things you should and shouldn't eat, things you need to know that guide you. And that's what we dig in deeper with my clients. We do our best to give you as much information here in this group, but then we work with you closer as a client. So drop in there comprehensive, balanced, or adapts, one of those words, if any of those resonates. And if you're in a program that is none of these, then you need to stop what you're doing and you need to reach out. But enough of all that, because I want Carol to tell us about her story. And so Carol, I'm going to ask you some questions as she knows, and she's going to tell us how her journey has been. And so Carol, where were you before you and I met again? I should say, I do know Carol, and I did not ask her if she's okay with me telling this, but you're okay with it, Carol?
Yeah.
Okay. So you guys will find this cool because so many of you found out that Mary Ellen, who was on my client interview in July 2nd, was my roommate in college. Well, Carol was somebody who I knew when I was in high school. When my family immigrated to the United States, I'm originally from Beirut, Lebanon, and my parents would travel. Carol would come over and stay at our house, and we loved Carol. She was the best. It was like awesome when my parents would go because she would come and like be with us. You know, we were grown kids, but she would be with us. And so I've known Carol for many years now. I'm well past high school. But it's so awesome as I started, and she can tell you a little bit about this, but when I started this group, Carol and I reconnected, but we have a lot of fond memories. So with that introduction, Carol, tell them, where were you before we met again, I should say, and what got you started?
Okay. Well, and I'll just say Diana's been great, and the memories that we have are so good. But this has been such a great thing for me to reconnect with her. So where was I when we started? I had gone through some changes in 2020, like everybody, with COVID, but I also had some other changes in my personal life, and I was gaining weight in 2020. So early 2021, I was just really struggling with, I got to get this weight off. And I have made a decision in late February, early March. I've got to make this a spiritual way of getting my weight off, and I've got to do it for God. But still, I was still struggling. It was like I would pray, I was praying about it, and I know God could help me, but I was just struggling getting it going. So within weeks of me making that decision, I saw Diana's post about starting this faith-based weight loss group, and I was like, wow, this is a God thing, I'm jumping on board with this right away. So I PM'd her and told private messenger and told her I was so excited about it. And that's kind of what started me on this journey. But I think one thing that was really, my weight gain was affecting my ability to serve God, even because I just knew I wasn't stewarding my body right. And I was just feeling that was going to really impact my service to him. So I was really in a bad spot. Mentally, it was affecting me spiritually, where I just knew I needed to get on a journey with God's help.
And Carol, as you say that, I remember you saying to me, I want to help others overcome things in their life, but I've got this area in my life that you felt you were kind of stuck in. Is that?
That's 100% accurate. Yes.
Yeah. And so she wanted to be able to overcome this struggle because you had struggled with weight for most of your life.
Yeah, I was overweight as a child, and I struggled with it my whole life.
And you had lost weight in the past.
Yeah.
What types of things had you tried?
I had 2 successful weight loss journeys with Weight Watchers. One about 15 years ago, where I'd lost 120 pounds, and I put most of that back on again. Then in 2018, I retired, and I knew I was going to have knee replacement surgery. So I was committed to getting the weight off for the surgery, and I again was successful. But then I was on my way to putting that back on again there in 2020, and I was just really struggling with that.
Yeah, right. And so you were ready to dig in, and what we talk a lot about is change from the inside out, right? So a lot of clients that I talk to lose the weight, but gain it back. And one of the biggest goals in the faith-based 5-principle method is sustainability, and the faith-based component of learning to honor God with our body. What started to change, Carol, as we began to work together?
Well, I saw right out of the blocks that this time for sustainability, my weight loss had to be about much more than the number on the scale. And one of the things that you said in the very beginning, Diana, was invite God into your wellness every morning. And so I started doing that every day. I would just invite God to be part of my wellness journey. And so then I had to look at, okay, what was I doing? Diana talked about balance. What was I doing for exercise and movement? I was doing the same thing at the gym 4 to 5 days a week. Same old thing on treadmill and bike, but it wasn't giving me any results. So I knew that I needed to do something different. And she taught that we needed to be doing something different and balancing our cardio with strength. So that was a big change for me. It still is hard for me because I'm in my 60s and I don't move as good as I used to. But so I really still have to struggle with the strength movement. But the neat thing about all of the Stay Fit and Diana's exercise videos is they always say, do what you can. They give modifications for people like myself who are not the most limber. So that was very helpful. So with those modifications, it would just gave me enough, to say, I'm going to stick with it. I'm going to keep doing it. And it's been a very successful and good journey.
Well, and I remember, Carol, when we had one of our one-on-ones, and you kind of were like frustrated with the exercise piece. And this is going to connect with the third thing I told you about, a program that adapts to your changing body. And so Carol mentioned a knee replacement and mentioned difficulty with movements, and only did the same types of things for her workouts for years. And when when she started learning about what she needed to do, she wasn't able to. So we tweaked and modified. So many of you want me to give you the specifics. We can't do that because everybody's different. So we created a very unique way for Carol to make the program, the videos work for her. And so I told her exactly what to do. And you started to really see some results, right?
Yes. Honestly, in the beginning, when I did the sit and be fit exercises, I could not even lift myself out of the chair without using my arms. And this morning I did, 15 times of standing up and sitting down in the chair in a row. And I was just like, this is such a difference from where I was the beginning of May.
And that was another goal that Carol had, was to be able to do that. And that's really important. You might be, if you're watching, you're like, oh, that's no big deal for me. You might not even realize it till you sit in a lower chair and have a hard time getting up if you've let yourself get weaker like that. What made the 5 Principle Method program different for you than other programs?
I think, of course, first of all, because it was anchored in Jesus Christ. That was the most significant thing of what I was looking for. And that anchor is so important. I think the other key thing that was different for me is the journaling. I never really did it journaling, but that's a key part of the 5 p.m. of course. And that journaling really made a difference for me. I keep my journal with me. In fact, I have it sitting right here with me, and I go back to it many times during the day. Even when I'm struggling, I go back to it and I'll write, my struggle in, and I just ask God, be part of this wellness journey, because I'm really struggling right now. And that journaling was a big difference for me. I think that's helped me with my mindset and goal setting, which are also part of the comprehensiveness of this program. So, but that would be probably the most significant change for me.
That's awesome. And what makes this faith-based, like what was the faith-based component? How did that, you've touched on inviting God into your wellness and your mindset, anything specific like that, how the faith-based component with the actual changes to your food and your exercise, how it all came together? Can you speak about that?
Well, sure. Recognizing that, God gave us food and he wants us to enjoy it, but it's also for fuel and for medicine. And Diana taught how sometimes we make food an idol. And that's what I was doing. I was loving food. And that was becoming an idol. So seeing food as God intended it to be was really part of the faith-based journey, of course. So that was pretty impactful for me. I think the other thing that, was helpful for me is to understand that we need to be in a community. A community of faith-based people can also help on the journey. Because one of the things I struggled with in signing up as a client was, well, I should be able to do this with God's help. I shouldn't need anything else. And just to see how God used even that thought. I was reading a book on biblical change before I had my one-on-one with Diana to learn more about the program. And the author said, even David needed Nathan to show him his sin and to help him. And that's when God just really affirmed for me that I needed some help and I needed the community of believers who could help me. And so that faith-based part of it has been very helpful.
I love that you shared that, because I hear that a lot. I should be able to do it on my own. And, I think our last interview guest touched on that. And she said, if your plumbing needs fixing, you get a plumber. If your roof needs fixing. And yet you get someone to fix it. But when our bodies need fixing, somehow we think we should be able to pummel through that battle alone. And we really aren't. And I always tell people, if I wasn't doing this in my work, so that like every day I talk on this, I have coaches that help me to stay in fitness and accountable and modify my goals. So that, and how you related that to David and the Word of God, that was awesome, Carol. What advice would you give someone who is in the spot you were in 6 months ago?
I would say, first of all, just really pray and search your own heart to see if God really wants you to change. And then it's an investment in your health. It's an investment that you're going to get a return on. And I think the investment that you'll get a return on is not only physical, but it will be also spiritual and mental and emotional. So don't let the, investment be something that keeps you from doing what God might want you to do to implement change in your own life.
Yeah, that's really good. Carol, how much weight have you lost?
I've just a little bit over 25 pounds.
And it's in about 10 weeks, right?
Yeah.
A little more?
A little more than 10, probably 12 weeks.
12 weeks, right?
Yeah.
And you have more to go, right? How much?
Yeah.
About much more do you want to lose?
I think I'm about halfway there. So
yeah, that's awesome. And how confident do you feel that you are able to keep going with the tools you were given?
Oh, I feel like this time, for the first time, I can sustain this, with God's help and with the tools that I've been given. With the community, this faith-based community is going to be a key part of it. There's some accountability there. And so I really feel like this is sustainable. And, in Weight Watchers, they talk about mindset, but it was always empty to me. What does mindset really mean? Yeah, I can do this. But in this program, we talked about mindset, and mindset is renewing your mind. Mindset is going deep with God. And that's what I've really experienced in the past 2 weeks, even deeper than I had in the first 10 weeks. But in the past 2 weeks, I've just really experienced that. Since we did the teaching on strongholds, that's helped me really dig deep and draw closer to God. And it's changing my mindset.
Yeah, I love that. And I think one thing you guys might hear me say a lot, this is not a diet, right? Do you feel like you're on a diet, or you feel or on a lifestyle trajectory?
I feel like it's a lifestyle. It has to be a lifestyle. It's still hard though. There are a lot. It's not like, okay, I did, went through the 10-week 5 p.m. and boom, I've got this. No, every day is still something I have to work at, but isn't anything that's worthwhile hard.
We learned that a lot, don't we, in the group, Carol? If you're comfortable where you are, you're likely not growing, my friends. And so I always tease my clients that my job is to make you uncomfortable. And we do that a lot. We go where it's uncomfortable. Now, I wanted to ask you, as we kind of wrap up, today I wanted to highlight the comprehensive, balance, and adapt to the changing body. So you felt the program was comprehensive?
Oh, yes. Yeah. It not only takes our physical wellness into account, but it takes our total wellness. So something for me that I had never thought of was environmental wellness. And okay, what do I need to change just to make my home even feel healthier? So things like, my goal this month was to organize my office, fitting in with emotional wellness. So the program is so comprehensive. It looks at really every area of our life.
Yeah. How about balance? Do we talk about extremes or finding balance?
Yeah, extremes are not good. Whether it's like I was doing the same cardio every day, that wasn't good. But the other thing that was kind of a eye opener for me was about restricting ourselves with food, restricting ourselves too much. That was, that's an extreme of the other direction, not eating enough, not getting the nutrients that our body needs to stay strong and to be able to sustain the changes that we'll face as we get older. Yeah,
that's awesome. And then adapt to the changing body. Did you feel that those
Oh, yeah.
adaptations suited you?
Yes, it sure does. Like I said, with the exercise and the movements, it adapts to the changing body, but also adapts to who we are as individuals. It's not an exercise program that, okay, everybody has to do this and you have to be able to do this. I remember telling Diana when I talked to her, I'm like, don't expect me to get down on the floor and do a plank because I'm not doing that. I can't do that, you know? And, you know, I'm working at being down on the floor doing planks. It's not easy, and sometimes I wonder, am I going to get up? But you know, it's definitely adapting to causing me to stretch my changing body and being able to adapt to it.
And to be able to do these things, again, you guys know I'm a physical therapist by training, and to be able to get up from a chair and get down on the floor are things everybody should be able to do and continue to practice. So a lot of our movement stuff is woven into with that kind of idea behind it, because you need to be ready for the future, etc. That's awesome. I'm looking here. We got lots of comments coming in, lots of people cheering you on, Carol. Any final thoughts? I think, you know, I love what you've shared. Any last thoughts you want to share with our listeners today?
No, I will just say, don't be afraid to go deep into looking at yourself and what do you need. And I think that's 2 weeks ago when I did that is what has kind of anchored me. Okay, this is going to be sustainable. And I had to really look at my stronghold and call it for what it was, the sin of selfish eating, because I just want to eat a lot and I want to eat whatever I want. And no, that is sin. And once I could call it what it is, because Diana challenged me to go deep, that's what's going to be sustainable. So don't be afraid of what you might find out about yourself, because it's worth it.
That's awesome. And guys, a lot of like, you know, give Carol a big hand, because Carol didn't want to do this interview, but I loved her story, and she is doing it because we teach a lot about being vulnerable, vulnerability versus anonymity. And the fact that she just stated that on the podcast is like a huge win, that she said what her stronghold is. So Carol, that was right there. And I know you did that intentionally because you want to be honest and real with people and how God's working in your heart. And guys, this is what we do. We got to be transformed. Getting a lot of claps here. Go deep with the lots of emojis like this. Love the emojis. Again, I've loved coaching Carol. She's so coachable. She digs in. If you guys have questions about the 5 Principle Method program, reach out. I hope you will continue to be involved. Not I hope, I trust you will. We're always providing so many resources on this page. Carol, I want to thank you for doing this today and sharing your story, because I know the interviews are really impactful for the people to hear, because everybody's story relates to someone more. And so thank you.
Oh, thank you
For being with us. And guys, we're going to wrap it up for today. Barb said, thank you for your authenticity. Carol said, thank you for your honesty. Be fearless, go deep, said Lynn. Amen, Carol. Anyhow, again, as always, Friday at 11 is our training time. Join us live by going to the Facebook group, faith-based weight loss.com. Facebook.com/groups/faith-based weight loss for women. And again, next week, lots of exciting things coming on. This week, we introduced Lynn as part of the faith-based weight loss team. So you'll see her being engaged. And I've been on a mission talking to lots of women who want to lose the 15 to 20 pounds in 10 weeks. So if you missed that, check out that post. If you have wins, make sure you post them. And again, I hope you've gleaned something from this interview. You can put that in the comments. It helps you be vulnerable and real and authentic, just like we encourage our people to do. I love being able to lead you guys. I am always growing, mind, body, and spirit. And depending on the Lord, that's the only way for sustainable success. So I hope you're doing that today. And that's a wrap for today. Once again, Carol, thank you. Thank you all for joining us. I'm reading the comments and I'll go back and read them all later. And have a great weekend. All right, everybody. See you later. Bye.